keep recording while I check something. I want to make sure that it's using my external mic, because I'm just not happy with the sound that the built-in speaker picks up. So I think it's it actually internal microphone. Yeah, okay, but okay, cool. So it should be using that. Anyways, hello. The only problem with it is going to record in mono, which I guess isn't really a problem, because it's not like I'm doing any stereo effects, but sometimes it can be a little annoying. Anyways, so today was like a really busy day. I went to bed really late last night. I was over at my brother's house helping him with a video that we made. I recorded his he did like a Tibet bull concert at this yoga studio that he teaches at called Sugata, and he did like some sound healing, and he did like a little kind of mini Tao yoga class and some other stuff. So we made a video of that, and then I came home, got home around midnight almost, and I just I don't like to go just straight to bed. It's like I want to like take some time and kind of unwind and like have a little bit of fun with my evening, since I was working, and then I worked more, and then I came home, and commuting isn't really unwinding time, it's commuting time. So I got home and I watched Much Ado About Nothing, and I've been actually reading a lot of Shakespeare lately, because I have this like free app on my iPod Touch that's like all of Shakespeare's work. So I just, when I'm on the train, I'll just like read one. I had a goal for a while to read one a week, like one play a week, and I actually got through Hamlet and King Lear, and then I was reading some sonnets, and then I kind of just got sidetracked and I stopped doing it. So now I'm kind of back on that, and I read Two Gentlemen from Verona, Much Ado About Nothing, and All's Well That Ends Well. And I have to say, Shakespeare, I love his ability to string together these like really awesome phrases and stuff, and like his ability to just write dialogue. Like the dialogue is interesting because they just the way that they describe things and like the scenery. And I'm looking for my iPod now because I wanted to here we go, because I'm reading Macbeth now. And anyways, he says this thing about Normandy's flags blowing like cold wind on their soldiers or something like that. And it was really interesting the way the soldier described the flags. He didn't just say like, oh, well, they rippled in the wind or something like that, but it was like they blew cold air on us, or it kind of gave them this imposing. They were no longer flags at that point. They were like these huge imposing things that were causing discord, and that they were fighting not just against Normandy, but also it was just this really cool image. But I have to say, so Shakespeare's great. He's a great writer. No one can say like anything bad about him, right? But I will say some of his characters are complete fucking douchebags, such as what's his name? I can't even remember now. I want to say Porthos, but that's not it. It's from the Two Gentlemen of Verona. Like Valentine was all right, and I kind of wish I wanted to hear more about him. He goes and becomes this leader of the bandits, and then we don't hear more about him. Why not? That's cool. Let's hear about that. I don't want to hear about Proteus. Proteus is a complete douchebag. The guy, first of all, Valentine's like, dude, let's go see the world. Let's go do something. And Proteus is like, no, I'm in love. I just want to sit at home and be in love. And he's not even it doesn't even sound like he's doing anything with this girl. He's just in love with her, but he's not actually doing anything about it, really. I mean, he gives her a ring, and I'm sure he wrote her some poems or something, but I don't know, it didn't really sound like that was really going anywhere. I mean, it was requited love, granted, but beyond that, like, who fucking cares, right? So Proteus is like, no, I'm just gonna stay here, and Valentine's like, fuck it, man, I'm out, because there's a whole world to be seen, you know, like, let's go do something, like, let's go fight in a war or do something. And so Proteus already is kind of like, you know, he's like kind of a lame duck character, right? So then, you know, finally he gets kicked out of the house because his dad's like, well, you know, if you're not doing anything, like, go, you know, your friend's like on the other side of the world. He's in Milan, like, go see what he's up to. You know, you've lived in Verona your whole life. Go see what's going on in Milan. So then, you know, he gets to Milan, and what's the first thing he does? He meets, you know, he hasn't even been out of Verona a week, and he meets, you know, Valentine's chick, and he's like, oh my god, this girl's so, well, he doesn't even say that. He's like, well, you know, I prefer Julia. And, you know, Valentine's like, whatever, my chick's the bomb. And so then, crap, I just finished it today, and I, like, already can't remember anyone's names. Where is, oh, okay, so it's Sylvia. How can I forget? That's not that hard of a name. Sylvia. So, yeah, so he's like, Sylvia's the bomb, fuck, you know, fuck Julia. But anyway, so then, what does Proteus do? He goes and he tells the king of Milan what a douchebag Valentine is, and he rats out his friend, and he tries to justify it, like, well, he, you know, she doesn't like him, or no, not, she loves him, but the king's gonna kick him out anyways, and, you know, he kind of like, or, you know, the way he describes it to the king is like, well, I love you, and I'm not really doing anything bad to my friend, like, I'm just trying to, you know, kind of keep everything cool, or something like that. It's really iffy, and then he, like, you know, and then Sylvia the whole time is like, dude, you're a complete tool. Like, I can't, you sold out your friend, you betrayed Julia's love, like, get out of here. And so all this happens, and then, you know, Valentine gets kicked out of out of Milan, and he gets, you know, accosted by these bandits who actually the outlaws end up being cool guys. You know, they're like, hey, we need a leader, and you seem like a smart guy, like, how about you come lead us, or we kill you? And he's like, okay, I'll lead you. That sounds like a fair trade. Like, I can lead you and you'll become my servants, and, or not servants, but, you know, my, I don't want to say underlings, because that sounds kind of like Saturday morning cartoonish, but, you know, I'll lead you guys and you give me all your riches, like, or I die. What were my choices again? Anyways, so yeah, and then we leave that. We don't hear about Valentine and his exploits as, like, Robin Hood of Milan. You know, he's just the leader of these outlaws. And then we go back to Proteus. And who cares about Proteus? I don't want to hear about all of his failed attempts at winning Sylvia's love. Like, one is enough. Like, you could have cut to the middle of that story and her going over all the reasons that he sucks, and I would have put it together. You know, Shakespeare, okay? And so, and then that other guy that was her suitor, what was his name? Thurio, yeah, and who cares about that guy? We don't, and I'm glad we don't really ever hear from him, except a couple of times when he whines. The one guy I did like, though, was Luance. That guy was funny. I liked him, and he had some really great lines, and I just liked how he was kind of like just mad at everybody. and like Speed. Who names a character Speed? That is awesome. That guy should be in more plays. I mean, or characters with names like that. So Luance and Speed, I think, should have gotten their own story, and they could have just, like, been pissed off and, like, yelling at each other for the entire play. So yeah, so then climax, right? So Sylvia escapes. You know, she absconds with the friar or father or whatever, and you know, and then the king and Proteus and everybody gives chase, and they end up, you know, with the outlaws. And what happens in, like, one line of dialogue here? I'll see if I can get to it before, you know, we get too far into this thing. In one line of dialogue, Proteus is just, I'll just summarize. He says, my suffering at having wronged my friend goes beyond any feeling I had in, like, wronging you, basically. And with that, Valentine's like, oh, well, I can see that you're sorry, so I'll take you as honest again. This guy who for the last, like, couple of weeks, he sold you down the river, didn't even care if you made it back to Verona safely, and then went after your chick, abandoned his chick, was lying to the king. He lied to everybody. This guy had no redeeming qualities. He was lazy and a liar. And then he's forgiven by Valentine. And then I couldn't quite understand, because Valentine said, like, a hand by either. Like, and it sounded to me like he was saying, well, marry either of them. It doesn't matter, Julia or, Sylvia. It doesn't, who cares? Just marry one of them. And he's forgiven. And Julia, like, marries him, or is happy to marry him. And I was just, like, I just wanted him to die. I wanted them all to die at that point, because they were just all forgiven.